Welcome back, fellow grievers. In this episode, I want to talk about the different ways that our brain offers for us to cope and kind of walk through the different options so you can identify which one you most relate to and what to do about them. So, welcome back, fellow grievers. And this episode, I want to talk about the kind of what our brain does, right? We've heard a lot about the fight, flight, freeze response. And lately, there's kind of been newer science about the next one called fawn. And just recently, it was like a month ago, I heard about the response of fix. So there's really five different ways that your brain wants to drop into how do we solve this problem mode. Okay. So the flight, fight, fawn, freeze, or fix. And so you might tend to do one over the others, or you might tend to do a couple of them. So I'm going to walk through just what each of those really entails. And then just again, having awareness of it, then we can be like, okay, and how do I want to show up instead? Or what can I do? But I really think the biggest thing is if we have awareness, we're like, oh, I am running away again. I'm trying to get out of this situation. My brain says, flee from here. And so this is what I'm doing. So even just the awareness alone can really help us be like, oh, and now I'm going to try to stop doing that. So we're going to just walk through those briefly. And so the first one I want to talk about is flight. So as it says, right? It's running away. But this may not be anymore like, oh, I'm physically leaving the room. Like you might, okay? But it also might be, I want to escape the situation, such as I'm going to pull up my phone and I'm going to play a game or I'm going to scroll on Facebook. Like anything that kind of takes you out of the current situation and gets your mind on something else. It's like it's running away from it. Sometimes for me, an example would be like, I like to go to my room and read a book. So I kind of like flee the situation, right? Like I would say more so though, like I tend to want to fight, but I kind of fluctuate between these, right? So if you notice, okay, there's a situation, and it might not even be like, oh, somebody's in my face about something. It might be like, oh my gosh, I felt so embarrassed. So I'm going to pull up my phone, I'm going to start scrolling. Or you might have had a disagreement with your spouse. Or you might be like, the kids are just too much right now. There's too much noise. Oh, they just need to stop. So again, you just pull up your phone. And I think too, a lot of people tend to do flight now without even realizing it because it's just pulling up your phone, right? It's going to watch a YouTube video or scrolling on Facebook or Instagram or, like any of that, going to a shopping thing or pulling up an app. And most of the time, I want to say almost always, these are not apps that are like, oh, let me pull up and do some prayerful meditation. It's like, no, I just want to numb out because this over here is too much. So that's flight. And and again, like I said, you might physically leave too. Like I have noticed that my husband tends to have the flight response from his nervous system. And this is also to say, like, none of these are bad. It's just our body's way of coping. And we learned this so early on. I was listening to this podcast and she was talking about how, like, um, I think she's a doctor in something. I can't remember. But she was saying, like, basically, how your nervous system responds is already learned by age 2. So really, we don't have control over this. And again, it's not anything bad. It's just how we adapted. But now as adults, we can choose something different or we can have awareness. And again, it might be that instant response that we can't control, but then we can get better at seeing it, noticing it, and like, oh, like there comes again, like, nope, I'm not going to do that. Nope, this isn't an unsafe situation, brain. We're okay. So Again, I have just noticed that my husband tends to really like the flight. He is either physically he leaves, he just has to get space, he has to get out of there, he leaves the room, or he'll pull up his phone. Like that is his pretty much his go-to move. And mine, that isn't really my first go-to move, but I would say for him. So it's again, just noticing different things and not noticing it about your loved one to be like, oh, you have a problem and you need to fix it. Again, focus on yourself first. That's the best way to handle things. So the next one I want to talk about is fight. And this might not mean physically like you're going to throw punches. I mean, for some people it might. But for me, it's more of I need to defend my position. I need to fight for this. I need to take a stance. I need to, for me, it's really like verbally, right? Like I need to speak up. I need to say something. And for me, if I'm in a public situation, I might say something, but this is definitely like in my marriage, I'm gonna fight. Like I'm gonna say fighting words. I'm gonna speak up. Like I'm gonna let you know that I'm upset. And I can see now how in my childhood, I just believed that's what I needed to do in order to be seen or heard. Like I was the middle child. And so that's just what I developed in my, again, with my nervous system, how I felt like I needed to respond was if I don't make noise, if I don't fight for it, I'm going to be forgotten. And so again, that's not to say it's good or bad. It's just to say that's just how my brain has responded over time. And now I can see that and be like, yeah, it's not beneficial to yell at people. It's not helpful. I'm not in an unsafe situation, right? Like, so it's just really talking my brain through that. And again, it takes a lot of practice. I still am not good at not yelling at my kids. I think I will struggle with that till the end of time. I will probably struggle with that when I have grandchildren. So just knowing that that's something about me, again, it's not necessarily good or bad. It's just me. And again, how I've coped with things. The next one is freeze. Okay, so this one also kind of closely relates with that, like, I want to check out. I want to, like, you just almost freeze. Like, you can't think of a comeback. You can't think of what to do next. You might later, right? Like, you might run this conversation again over in your head. And you might be like, oh, I should have said this or I should have done this. But in the moment, you just really freeze. Like, your body is so overstimulated or so on edge that it just like freezes. And again, some of that it might show up in ways where you like then kind of like retreat and like, well, I'm not going to confront them. I'm just going to like leave the situation, right? We're not going to talk about it. We're just going to ignore what's happening. We're going to move on. Um, and I would say this one I probably have the least examples for because I don't think I freeze very often. So, um, but yeah, if that's you, if you're like, oh yeah, I really freeze, I get so like, oh, like I don't know what to say or do. Again, just know that's just your brain's way of handling the nervous system response that's happening. The next one is fawn. Okay. Like I have also felt like I do this sometimes where like, um, you want to be the people pleaser, right? Like you think if I say this, maybe not even so much that, but it's almost like if I encourage the person or if I apologize, right? Like then this again, situation, whatever it may be, again, I would say most of the time nowadays it's like a verbal response. I wouldn't say people are coming up and throwing punches or attacking. Not to say that can't happen, but most of the time it's like a verbal interaction that's happening or a conversation and you're caught off guard. And so you're apologizing profusely for what they said. Or, like they might say something that you're like really caught off guard and you're just apologizing because you want to make the situation better. And you're like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh no, like, oh, you thought that? Oh, I'm so sorry. Right? Like, and my sister does this. That's I again, like just being aware and just seeing how different people respond. My sister is one to apologize in almost every conversation. And I do want to say maybe that's being a bit extreme, but it's kind of not. She does apologize quite a bit. And so again, just noticing that's her brain's response to be like, oh my gosh, I feel like there's some sort of danger. There's something where like somebody is interpreting what I'm saying wrongly. I don't want them to be offended. I don't want them to be upset. So I'm going to apologize. I'm gonna fawn over them. I'm going to make sure that they know that I didn't mean any ill will, right? Like, so that is the fawn response. And then finally, the one that is new to me that I didn't know, but then when I heard about it, I'm like, oh yeah, I really do that, is fix. I want to come in and I want to fix the problem. I want to look at my husband and I want to say, well, if you got a coach, or maybe if you cut out this, maybe if you exercise, maybe, right? Like I want to fix the problem. And I also want to fix like everything, right? I want to fix everything. I want to, it's kind of pairs with that people pleaser, but it's not a people pleaser in a way of like a timid, it's more of like, I can fix it and I have the answer, so let me fix it, right? Like I do that a lot. And I don't know if it's like, I don't want to say it's controlling because I think that's a different term, but it's like, if I fix this for you, then everything will be better, right? Like those, like we don't need to have harsh words, or if this problem is just solved, then we can move past it and be better. And I don't know. I don't know if this is scientifically backed or not, but I want to say from my experience, most of the time it's I want to fix the other person. It's not so much, I mean, sometimes I do want to fix me and I do want to work on things, but in the moment, right, with that when we are in these moments, it is a very rapid response. I'm not taking time to self-reflect. I'm just like, well, if he were to do this, if he were to stop drinking pop, maybe he wouldn't complain so much that his joints hurts. Sorry, husband, I'm throwing you under the bus there. So I just like fixing them, right? Like in that moment, you're looking at the outward quote unquote obstacle and you're trying to fix it. Because if you could fix that, then they wouldn't be upset or they wouldn't be hurting or there wouldn't be any kind of negative emotion or response attached to that. And so those are the five F's, right? That our nervous system throws up at us. And again, I just want to remind that these are very instant. These are things that, especially as we're just learning and becoming more aware, that it's, again, it's just instant. Like we can start to recognize it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that may never not be our go-to move. Okay. So again, awareness, figuring out which one is you. And again, if you're looking for more examples or more detail, like of course, just Google it, right? Like there's so many different ways to look up this stuff. But I just wanted to give kind of an outline because I know for me that it really helped when I could be like, oh, like that's what's happening. And okay, like again, I'll give you guys an example. So in my marriage, if something, let's say my husband and I have a heated discussion where we don't quite see eye to eye, and I feel upset, right? My first response is I want to fix it. Okay. I want to state it in a way where he might understand better, or I want to say, hey, no, like, you can't be upset because I told you that, right? Like, I want to fix the situation. If that doesn't work, then typically what I'll do is then I will flight. I will leave the room. I will go pick up the book. I will go get out of there, right? I will try to get out so my brain doesn't have to deal with the stress and tension that is happening in the moment. And so that is kind of happening very quickly as the conversation is unraveling, okay? And I would even say first, I probably would say fight is probably first because fight and fix. I want to fight. I want to defend my position. If that doesn't work, then I probably want to try to fix it a little bit. And if that doesn't work, then I flight and I get out of there. So just knowing that it's like boom, 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 right? Like as we're having this conversation, as it unravels, it might be a 5 minute conversation. And then I've already gone through like one or two or three of these. And then as I walk away and I take some time and I kind of reflect, then it's like, oh, I got defensive, right? I wanted to fight. I wanted to make sure my opinion came across. And so then I can recognize, I can be aware of that and be like, oh, yes, okay. Maybe in the next situation, what would be more helpful is if just as a pause for me to like kind of catch my bearings, if I repeat back to him like, oh, so what I'm hearing you say is dot dot dot, right? So then I can be like, okay, that's my cue. Be like, no, Nicole, I don't need to fight. I'm not in danger. Nothing's gone wrong. We are just having a difference of opinion. And the more I practice that, the more I can curb that initial just like nervous system response. So again, awareness is the first thing, as always, because we can't change anything that we are not aware is even happening. And then the next thing is again, just to practice different ways, practice different thoughts that we can run through our head, practice different things. Sometimes, too, for me, what really is helpful is walking away because for since I am the one typically like my initial response is to fight or to fix. It's like, no, I want to be more in a habit of walking away, not in a way that's like I'm fleeing the situation, but just be like, I'm going to communicate to him and I'm gonna be like, hey, I need 10 minutes. I'm going to go to our room. Please give me 10 minutes and I will come back and I'll pick up this conversation. And that allows me to then have space, not in a way that I'm just like trying to avoid, but it's giving me space so I don't do something or say something that I don't want to. And it just gives me a pause. And then I practice like a few deep breaths. And it's like, okay, how am I feeling? Why am I feeling that? Okay, is there something he could truly do differently? Or am I really upset about something else? And just me walking through those few things really helps me, for one, to communicate and say where I'm at and why I'm so upset. And for two, to be like, okay, is this even something that is fixable? You know, if it's something that you're like, well, I hate when you wear the color purple because it just really upsets me. Like my dad used to wear purple and I don't like you wearing purple. Okay, he can go change his shirt. If I'm like, I don't like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example. I don't like how you chew, right? Like, again, that does bother me. I'm one of those people like I can't stand the sound of chewing. But that's not really something he can fix, right? Like he has to chew his food. He has to eat. So it's maybe something that then I can look and be like, okay, it's not something that's he can fix. It's more about me, maybe like not listening to him chew or having something distracting. Like that's more about me. And he can't fix that. Nothing's going to change there. So is it going to be good for me to say that or is it just going to be hurtful? So again, I hope this was helpful. I hope this gives you a little bit of an overview of just like how crazy amazing our brains, our nervous systems are, like how they are developed. We're so young, we're not even aware. Like the more I learn about this stuff, the more I'm just fascinated on how God made us and created us. And it's just amazing. It's just so wonderful. So anyway, I'm kind of nerdy like that though. I get really excited about like the science and all the background of it. But this is just a brief overview because I found it to be very helpful. And like I said, I only knew about the fix one. I just learned about that like a month or so ago. So I just wanted to be like, hey, in case somebody else has never heard of this, just to be aware of it, right? Just to, again, it's not good or bad, but we can take it and we can learn and grow from it. So that is what I have for you today. And as always, um I'm always working on things. I am super excited. I am working with somebody on Facebook ads, which is again fascinating to me. It's very It's so interesting, like marketing and the science behind marketing, but I digress. So I'm working on some Facebook ads that I'm running for a summer grief program. It's just a short course. It's like 3 short videos on how to raise your kids and have a great summer while you're grieving. So check that out. I am probably I'll have it on my website as well. But if you're not following my Facebook page, go check it out at Catholic Grief Coach on Facebook. And I'm on Instagram. So go there, go get the course. And then this fall, I'm working with somebody else on having a Catholic Grief Summit. So I'm very excited about that as well. So be sure to kind of keep an eye out for that. But as always, you guys, you are so loved. And let's take the next steps together. God bless.